The top 3 ranked from both JPL and JFC, and pot 2 will have the others. The next round is the quarterfinals, featuring the 6 winners from round 3, the JPL champion, and the first place from the JFC. It will be a random draw with no pots. Teams then proceed to the semi-finals and the final. Each team will get prize money based on how far they advance in the tournament. A total of $4.75 million in prize money will be paid out, with the winning team taking home $1 million. There's also a $50,000 purse for the top goal scorer and the winning coach. Get ready for the newest and boldest club football competition in Jamaica. This is David versus Goliath. This is the Popeyes Challenge Cup on CVM TV.
Hey, what I want?
Hi, I am Candy Pangat.
What I want?
What a guan?
That a guan pa.
What I want?
What a guan?
What a guan! Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 a.m., 1:30 p.m., and 10 p.m. on CVM TV.
And that's a guan pa. What a guan?
For joining us for CVM News at noon. It's Thursday, May 7, 2026. I'm Moy Harriet. Up first this afternoon, police in Savna-Lamar, Westmoreland have arrested and charged a 16-year-old male student in connection with a robbery incident at the Honeyguns Funeral Home. Reports are that about 4 p.m. last Wednesday, the manager at the funeral home located along Darling Street securely locked the office and went home. Upon returning Thursday morning, the manager discovered that the office was broken into. The thief had broken out a window and gained access to the office, stealing over $130,000. A report was made to the police, and on the arrival of the lawmen, they viewed the CCTV footage where the teen was observed committing the act. The student, who hails from Darling Street in Savna-Lamar, has been charged for breaking and larceny. Still in Westmoreland, police have launched an investigation into the death of a 57-year-old man in the burnt Savannah community Wednesday afternoon. The deceased has been identified as Donovan Curry. Reports are that Curry was last seen alive at his home about 2 p.m. Then about 7 o'clock, his wife discovered his body inside the house. She alerted the Frome police, and on their arrival, they discovered that the man's body was seen, and the scene was processed, and the body was removed to the morgue for post-mortem. Meanwhile, the Frome police in Westmoreland have launched a probe into a freak accident which claimed the life of a man along the Townhead Main Road in burnt Savannah. The deceased has been identified as Taj Campbell. Reports are that on Wednesday morning, Campbell was riding his motorcycle along the roadway when a child who was in the company of her mother ran across the path of the motorcycle. Campbell swerved to avoid hitting the child, but lost control of the motorcycle, which collided in a Toyota Voxy bus traveling in the opposite direction. Campbell, who died on the scene, sustained head and body injuries. Now, the St. James continues to record the highest number of murders in the country. Despite an overall reduction, the 24 murders recorded so far in 2026 is slightly higher than the corresponding period last year. But as police intensify their operations against criminal elements, 2 more men were shot and killed by lawmen on Monday in Barrett Hall. According to reports, about 1 p.m., members of the Area 1 Fugitive Apprehension Team, acting on intelligence and armed with a warrant went to the home of 29-year-old Owen Glendon Shaw, otherwise called Nick or Shortman, of Wagon Wheel in Barrett Hall in the parish. Police say Shaw opened fire at the team during a confrontation. The officers returned fire, hitting him. Shaw was reportedly taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. A firearm and ammunition were reportedly seized at the scene. Now, in a separate incident in the same community, police were searching for a wanted man when 51-year-old Boston Grubb, a shopkeeper of Wagon Wheel in the community, was accosted. Lawmen report that while searching his premises, Grubb allegedly pulled a firearm from a nearby box and pointed it at them. Officers took evasive action and again returned fire. Grubb was shot and taken to hospital, where he was pronounced dead. Another firearm and ammunition were recovered. Investigations into both incidents are ongoing. To other news now, persons displaced by Hurricane Melissa being sheltered at the Petersfield High School in Westmoreland were promised new housing provisions by the 8th of May. However, shelterees are disgruntled as the new shelter is not yet fit for accommodation, according to them. The residents say they have been asked to move to another temporary location in the meantime, and the conditions of these facilities are also below par. Orlando Ennis says he has been a resident of the shelter signed since October last year. Now, police are seeking the public's help in locating missing 14-year-old Samantha Wilson of Banks District Racecourse in Clarendon. The teen has been missing since Monday. She's of dark complexion, slim build, and about 5 feet 3 inches tall. Reports from the police are that about 7:40 a.m., Samantha was last seen in her community wearing a khaki tunic, white blouse, and a pair of black socks and shoes. Anyone knowing the whereabouts of Samantha Wilson is asked to contact the police at 876-987-4373, the police 119 number, or the nearest police station. Relief could soon be in sight for Jamaicans amid the current cement shortage. In recent weeks, production issues and shipping delays tightened supplies across the island, leaving some hardware stores unable to keep up with demand and in some cases pushing prices higher. But speaking Wednesday on CVM's lead story, Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, Senator Auburn Hill, said the supply situation is expected to improve by next week.
The real shortage, is you're absolutely right, is in the retail portion. The people that buy 2 bags, 5 bags, 10 bags, 20 bags of cement. And I don't know about the marrying, I'm not questioning at all, but these things do happen. What we do know is the Carib Cement in the last 2 weekends have brought in tons and tons, 5, 4, number of tons of cement to come in, both for institutional, which means the big bags, and the smaller bags. They have 2 more, right through May, they have 3 more shipments coming in. They expect that by the end of next week, the shortage, because they have cement unloading now, they have new ones coming in, all bagged for the retail trade. So they would expect that by the end. Today I met with a senior executive from CEMEX overseas, and the management here gave me a full update. We have a listing of the ships. We confirm that they're coming in, that they're in, and they expect the shortage to be relieved by the end of next week.
A major push to strengthen early childhood education is now underway in Northeast St. Anne, following the launch of a new literacy program targeting young children. Member of Parliament Matthew Samuda launched the Books for Babies initiative at the St. Anne's Bay Infant School earlier this week, where more than 200 books were distributed to students with support from the Chase Fund, National Education Trust, and the Corner Library. Mr. Samuda says the initiative forms part of a wider commitment to improving educational support across the constituency, particularly at the early childhood level.
This initiative, as one of our many engagements this week, is really focused on the early childhood sector. It is really an acknowledgement that the first 1,000 days are so absolutely critical to your future. We've made a commitment that whatever we have access to will go to the children of this constituency, first and foremost, because that is the only way to truly turn the corner on the issues that we.
Now, the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, says it will continue consultations with outdoor advertising companies as it moves to address concerns about billboard regulations and enforcement. Mayor of Kingston, Andrew Swaby, says the current law, which dates back to 1978, may need review as both sides works towards solutions through ongoing dialogue and public consultation.
What we had done, we had discussed some of the challenges that we are seeing out there, and we have been in a consultative approach that has, I would say, that has defined the type of leadership that I bring to the table. So we have discussed issues with them. All are not resolved, and I didn't expect them to resolve today, but we have both been committed to see how we can resolve the issues.
Let's head now to a break. When we come back, we'll have our live interview.
Every day starts with care. Care that's always close. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is where you go for everything you need. From your morning routine to life's biggest moments. Supermed Family of Pharmacies is always by your side. Whether it's prescriptions or household essentials, trust the care that's close to home. Super happy, super healthy, Supermed.
What is the Popeyes Challenge Cup? The Popeyes Challenge Cup is Jamaica's newest and boldest football competition, featuring David versus Goliath matchups as the best of the best in the country's club football take on those in the second tier of club football. It's a straight knockout competition featuring 25 teams, 7 from the Jamaica Premier League and 18 from the Jamaica Football Championship, the second tier. The 7 JPL teams are invited and are ranked based on their finish in the current season, as they will not enter the competition until after being eliminated from the JPL playoffs. The JFC team seedings are determined based on their rankings in the league as at May 2. Teams will battle it out over 6 rounds to determine the winner. So how does it work? Round 1, the play-in, will feature 14 teams.
Welcome back to CVM News at noon. Jamaica is this week joining countries across the world in observing UN Global Road Safety Week 2026, an initiative aimed at raising awareness about road safety and reducing traffic fatalities and injuries. Now, the observance comes as Jamaica continues to grapple with road crashes, particularly involving pedestrians and motorcyclists. Now, so far this year, 26 pedestrians have been killed on the nation's roadways, compared to 31 over the same period last year. Motorcyclist fatalities have also declined, with 22 deaths recorded so far this year, down from 37 last year. Now, while there are signs of progress in reducing motorcyclist fatalities, road safety advocates say greater efforts are still needed to address the high number of pedestrian deaths and improve road user behavior. Joining us now is Dr. Lucian Jones, who is the Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. Good afternoon, Dr. Jones.
Good afternoon to you and your listeners.
Talk to us. What's the significance of the UN Global Road Safety Week, especially for Jamaica?
So the context is that the United Nations and its organization that's dedicated to promoting health across the world, the World Health Organization, has been having Global Road Safety Week for many years. It's normally every 2 years. But this year they decided to make a difference because of what is happening across the world. And there's a decade of action for road safety, 2020 to 2030. So we are now in 2026, pretty much halfway bit. In the decade. And the goal of the decade really is to have all countries half their road deaths between 2021 and 2030. So right now, last year, we were at 374 road deaths. We need to go down to 212 if we're going to achieve the mandate issued by the World Health Organization. And in order to do that, we have to roll out all the provisions of the New Road Traffic Act. We have to make sure the demerit point system is working. We have to do what is necessary to decrease the speeding on our roads, which is the #1 problem. And the data is very clear. If you reduce your average speed by 5%, we can achieve a 30% reduction in road fatalities. So we have a meeting with the Prime Minister, who is the chairman of the Road Safety Council next week, Thursday, and there are a number of issues that are going to be on the agenda. And one of the things that is happening during this year, separately in a sense, but part of the whole WHO thrust, is that the Prime Minister has been invited to attend a meeting at the UN from July 20 to 21 to promote global road safety and to promote the halving of road safety deaths by 2030. So there's a full agenda, and we are, as Jamaican, as we have been doing over the years, we are participating in the agenda of the WHO and doing what we can do best to make sure there's a difference in Jamaica.
Dr. Jones, I shared with our viewers a while ago that we're seeing a reduction in motorcyclist fatalities this year, but pedestrian deaths remain a major concern. What do you think is contributing to this trend?
Pedestrian deaths over the years has been a challenge. And the challenge is obvious that pedestrians have absolutely no safety whatsoever. There's no protection for pedestrians on the road, other than what we organize as a nation. And research has been done by Dr. Carey Fletcher out of St. Anne's Bay, showing a number of things. One is that pedestrians are guilty of drinking alcohol and going on the roads. They are guilty of smoking marijuana. They are guilty of being distracted by the use of their cell phones. They are not being protected as well as we should because people are speeding. They are not being protected as well as we should because cars are leaving the main road and going on the sidewalks and hitting down pedestrians. So we need a lot more pedestrian safety measures. We need a lot more bridges, crosswalks that they go across safely, bridges that people can walk over the highway rather than dashing across the highway. Somebody just pointed out to me recently that what is happening now under Mandela with the buildup of a lot of business places on the right-hand side to the north, people are dashing across the road. That's a recipe for disaster. So we have to do a lot more to protect our pedestrians, making them aware of the dangers of walking, but providing spaces for them, safe spaces for them to walk so that they're not hit down by either motorcyclists or by motor cars.
How important is public education and personal responsibility in this conversation, Dr. Jones?
Absolutely critical. So yes, we have a safe systems approach where we employ the theory and the practice that we need to manage the systems of the roads so that when people make a mistake, and they will, it's not punished by death and injury. But at the same time, you need to have personal responsibility. You have to make sure you wear light color clothes at night, because if you have on dark colors, nobody can see you, and you're more likely to be hit than when you're wearing white or white color clothes. So pedestrians have a duty not to be distracted. Everybody's walking around with either looking at the phone or the phone in their ears. Distracted driving and distracted walking is a major, major problem in this country. Our people are watching too many reels. Our drivers are watching reels while driving. This is a major issue. And we're not paying as much attention to the new law that says that you have to have a hands-free instrument when you're using a phone while driving. So we still have drivers with their hands on the phone or beside the ears. So this is posing a major problem. So the whole matter of personal responsibility is a big issue. And as far as we can, public education is something that we need to do. Funds have been granted by the cabinet to use some of the money accrued from the ticketing system through the Ministry of Transport to promote public education. National Road Safety Council is applying for funds for this purpose for the Global Road Safety Week. Just sent a note to the minister. And we're also hoping that we'll get through the ministry additional funds by this method whereby we can carry out public education. Because we have not funds for a long time to do this.
We're almost out of time, Dr. Jones, but earlier you spoke about the Road Traffic Act. Do you believe enough is being done when it comes to enforcement of the act in 30 seconds?
I think the police are doing a marvelous job. They have some new strategies, but I think they need all the tools, not just some of the tools. And for a long time, we've been calling for the demerit point system and for the introduction of new technology, which are simple. There was a letter of the day today in the Gleaner, which dealt with the matter of technology and traffic jams, and by extension also road safety. So yes, we need all the provisions of the new Road Traffic Act to help the police to do their work.
All right, thank you so much. That was Dr. Lucian Jones, who is the Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council. Thanks so much, Dr. Jones. To news.